Hello my lovelies and welcome back to my channel. Today is day 4 of our Christy sew along. Today we'll be sewing the front and the back main to the zipper and adding the handles and all that good stuff, and tomorrow we'll be finishing the main assembly, the final assembly, with adding the lining, birthing the bag and showing it off. So for today's steps you need your 12-inch zipper, your zipper tab, your zipper pull. You need the 2 top glitter ones. As you can see, I am at my industrial machine starting today because I'm starting to use the glitter vinyl. You need your handles, your 2 handles, your 2 D-ring connectors that you've prepped already on day 2, the outside slip pocket, and of course the main body. So let's start by adding the connectors first. Remember, we put the markings of the connectors on day 2 on the main. You want to center, I don't know how well you can see on camera, but this is my marking here. My 2 markings are right here where my fingers are. You want to center your markings right sides together with the connect with the handle. So the handle will be centered where and matched with the marking. So this way, if you're using 1.5 inches or 1 inch, it doesn't matter, you can still use the markings on the pattern piece. So my marking is right here in the center and I've centered the 2 handles. I'm going to go ahead and stitch that down. And I am using right now the new groovy string, which I absolutely love. It became my new favorite after Unicorn Mane. I'm stitching this down with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. This way, when I stitch my top part, it will not affect the stitches that I've done. I won't sew right on top of it to make more holes, like to make bigger holes. Okay, so let's stitch the second handle. I'm going to do the exact same thing, a 1/4 inch. And we have a visitor. It was either I let him keep us company or he will be meowing in the background of the video. So I chose the lesser of 2 evils. You are not supposed to be in here. Oh man. Oh man. He's not allowed in this room. Or he's not supposed to be in this room. Anyway, so I'm doing the same thing. This is my marking right here. My marking. And this is, I'm centering. See the marking right here. Okay, this is not okay, dude. Let's move it along. Okay, and I'm going to stitch that right sides together. With a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay, make sure your handles are not twisted. Same thing on the other side. My marking is right here. I'm centering my handle right there. boy. He's a silly boy. Right, Peanut? He's upset with me. So this is what it looks like. Go ahead and grab one of the top strips and place it the right sides together. And we're going to stitch this down with 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Ooh, I like this. Glitter vinyl is sticky, so it sticks to itself. It's kind of built-in pins. It stays right there, stuck to itself very nicely. Alright, so 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Beautiful. Oh, this groovy. This groovy is so pretty. Okay, this is what it looks like. And I'm going to turn it and I'm going to press the seam allowance down and top stitch. So I'm going to top stitch 1/8 of an inch away from the seam. And I'm going to increase it to 4, making sure that my seam allowance is going towards the bottom of the bag. This way, when I top stitch, I'm also top stitching on the handles, so they are super secure now. Not that you can have like a lot of weight on the bag, but I mean, don't challenge me, because I'm sure I can, but this is what it looks like. Top stitch, so pretty. And we're going to do the exact same thing on the other handle. Right sides together. And stitch with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. This is really not a difficult project. And top stitch the exact same way. Top stitch with your seam allowance going down 1/8 of an inch away from the fold. If you want to add rivets now on this, you can. 2 rivets here, if you would like. Or you can wait until you finish your bag and put the rivets. If you're using double cap rivets, you can put them through the lining and the main. And this way it will have the lining sticking to the main. It's up to you. But if you want to not be through the lining, now would be a good time to add rivets right here. Again, optional. Take your pocket, your slip pocket, the one we worked on day 2, and you're going to pick one of the sides. They're both the same, and you're going to place your slip pocket aligned at the top here. So it covers this stitch right here. I'll show you a close-up in just a second. Let me just pin it in place. Okay, so I took my pocket, my slip pocket, and I've aligned the top edge here with this top right here. So it looks like this. This way, this part disappears right now. You won't see it from the outside. Okay, and the sides are aligned and pinned in place, and we're going to go ahead and stitch around the 3 edges, not the top, because you do need the pocket opening. So we're going to stitch along all 3 sides. And I'm going to do this with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. This way, when I put the bag together and use a 3/8 inch seam allowance, I won't put more holes in the existing ones and risk tearing my fabric. And actually on the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and do an 1/8 inch seam allowance, even smaller. Remember, when we created the pocket, we drew a center line for the phone. This is when you'll be doing your stitches. So you have your center line, and you can do just 1 stitch in the center if you want. Remember that center line? You can just do a stitch in the center and call it a day. I like it the way Lindsay did it in this, and she's sewn a 1/4 inch away from each line, so she has 2 lines with this pattern, and I like that. I'm going to do just that. So I will be stitching from the bottom with an 1/8 inch away from that line we just drew. And then pivot here at the top, about an 1/8 inch away from the top. Alright, if you would like to add a rivet or 3 right now would be a good time to do so. You can add a rivet here and 1 here and 1 here. Just make sure that if you do add a rivet now, it will be not in the seam allowance. So I suggest you add the rivets at the end, or if you add them on the sides, you need to make sure that they're not in the seam allowance and they're far away so that your foot reaches here. So maybe just add 1 here, and then if you want extras on this side, do them later on. But it's up to you. I don't know, I have to look to see if I have any rivets left. I did end up finding a rivet cap actually in rainbow, and I've used a regular like rivet on the back and put the cap on the front, because this part you won't see it. So again, see, proof that you can work with what you have. If you're left with just rivet caps, use a rivet post from a different type of rivet that matches in size, obviously, because this part you won't see it anyways. So the pretty part is here, and it's done. Let's stitch now the darts right here to give the 3D effect. So for that, you're just going to fold it so the raw edges of the darts align. See, this is the dart, and you're going to stitch this with 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. And you'll be repeating the same steps for the lining, for the dart lining. Okay, so 1, 2, see, I'm folding it. I'm folding it so the raw edges of the darts align, to create that 3D effect on the back. And I'm stitching with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Same thing on the other side. Again, if you want 2 pockets, you can use the same idea from the first pocket on the back, and you'll have pockets on the front and the back too. That's the beauty of making your own custom work. Super easy. Just repeat the same steps you did for that on the back, and you have 2 pockets. Just remember, it will add extra bulk when you stitch the front and the back together. Last dart, oops. I love glitter for this purpose alone. Well, it does look pretty, but it sticks to itself so nicely. I don't even have to use pins. Well, and you know, when I say pins, I mean clips. I don't use pins like ever now. Okay, let's trim all the darts to 1/8 of an inch to reduce bulk. And again, repeat the same step for the lining. Either today or tomorrow, whenever you want. Just make sure you sew the darts of the lining as well. If you push them out like that, you get that 3D effect on the bottom. Set those aside for now, just for a little bit, while we work on the zipper. So take your zipper, the 12-inch one, put your zipper pull through it. Make sure that your ends are sealed with a lighter. Okay. The zipper pull is on. You have your zipper tabs right here, and we're going to stitch this with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Or actually no, 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, sorry. 3/8, because this is 30 inches long. So 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. I'm placing right sides together, my zipper tab to my zipper. Okay, looks like this. And now I'm folding and folding on the back the same way, like so, and enclosing. So I have not added any length to the zipper, I just enclose the raw edge like a binding. That's 3/8 of an inch. And I'm top stitching. So now your zipper end is done, and we're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Take your zipper tab, place it right sides together with your zipper, stitch with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Like so. And then you're going to fold, and on the back you're going to fold 3/8 of an inch at the top and fold it again. Like so, and then top stitch about 1/8 of an inch away from the fold. And friendly reminder, before you stitch this last tab, double check that you have your zipper pull on. We all know how that story goes, right? Where you put both tabs you put both tabs and then you realize your zipper pull is not on. And then you have to seam rip one of them. Okay, zipper is ready. The zipper tabs are on, the zipper pull is on. So now we're going to add the D-rings. Let's add the connectors to the zipper tape, and we're going to place them right where the zipper tab ends, right here, and we're going to baste them in place, like so. On both on the same side of the zipper. Okay, and do not cut the excess connector. Okay, so there's one right here, and we're doing the same thing on the other side. I'm placing my connector on the zipper, and this is the connector sits where the zipper tab starts. And I'm going to baste that in place. If you did not mark the center of your zipper, we're going to do that right now, because the last step we have today is to add the zipper to the main. So I'm going to find the center of the zipper and mark it with a pen on both sides, because you want to match this center to the markings that you've made earlier on the day we did the prepping. So take your main, one of them, and match the center marking of the zippers, if I still find them. I think I used black marking on black. It's okay if you need to remark them. Okay, so right sides together, I'm going to place my zipper center with the center of the main, and then pin in place, and this should end 1/2 inch away from the edge. I'll show you a close-up. The zipper should not go all the way to the edge. It should end about 1/2 inch away, because you need 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, and then a little bit more, 1 extra 1/8 of an inch, just for some wiggle room. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Right sides together, you can see there's about 1/2 inch here and 1/2 inch here on both sides, and you're going to baste this in place from one end to another, from the zipper tab to the other end. If you need to move the zipper pull around, do that. Okay, trim your threads. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So right now it's only basted on one of the, on the back, let's say the back. If we do the pocket on the front, this is the back. We're going to repeat the same thing but on the front. Again, matching the center, get the handles out of the way. The center marking on the front and on the zipper. Pin that in place. And again, you should have about 1/2 inch on each side. And you want to baste this in place. There you go. This is the main, front and back together. So let's go ahead and stop right here for today. Snap a photo of your progress for today, and tomorrow we'll be adding the lining to these pieces and we'll be finishing the bag. So this is what it looks like right now. It's just basted in place, not top stitching yet. We'll do that tomorrow when we attach the lining as well. Make sure that you do snap a photo of your progress for today and post it in the day 4 photo album, photo in the album of the Christy Sew Along. The album is in the Backstitch Backroom on Facebook. And I'll see you back here tomorrow when we'll be finishing our beautiful crossbodies. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.